Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Be blessed. Beautiful day outside. It is Monday, 26 March. It's amazing. Last week we had a snowstorm, right? But my garlic is coming up. Garlic that I planted in the fall, beginning to show. That's the way life is, you know. It just keeps coming up. Been thinking about a lot of things. Oh, by the way, this is a Pamsula vest. Pamsula stands for like a pile of dust. My teacher, who passed away maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Sandra Jishu Holmes, created a program for homeless women in Yonkers where she gathered cloth from all the big designers, you know, the stuff that falls to the floor, and she would make, from those rags, she would make cloth, and then she would make garments. And her idea was that throw away pieces of rags, and society throws away these women. She put them together and they would make beautiful things, and they would make these vests and other clothing and wall hangings and tablecloths. So I'm wearing a Pamsula vest, which at one point we used to call them Zen Peacemaker vests, and we're trying to revive that. One of my students, Nike Nelson, is trying to revive the whole process. Bernie Glassman, my teacher, developed the three tenets, which you've heard me say before. You know, the not knowing, bearing witness, and an action. And he used to say that life is about that. I've said before that Satori, or awakening, is the foundation, the fundamental aspect of Buddhism, or Zen Buddhism. And so Bernie used to say that for him the practice was the realization, the manifestation of the oneness of life. And that's his way of saying that's what Satori is. Once you experience that, you get this sense, this different view of the world. And so, you know, I've been kind of revisiting D.T. Suzuki's book, Zen Buddhism, which is an old book, but it's a fantastic book. And in one of the pages, he talks about how different people in different places have said things about this Satori. Sings Blake, for instance, writes, "To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, whole infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour." That's a kind of, if you can kind of emotionally and psychologically and spiritually and from a visual kind of way feel that, you don't need too much more. There's another poet by the name of Wither, W-I-T-H-E-R, who wrote, "By the murmur of a spring, or at the least boughs rustling by a daisy, whose leaves spread shut when Titan goes to bed, or a shady bush or tree, she could more infuse in me than all nature's beauties can in some other wise men." And so there are these poets, Western poets, who have sort of gotten the flavor of this Satori, this awakening. Meister Eckhart, which is a Catholic saint, wrote, "The eyes with which I see God is the same in which God sees me." That's another way of this manifestation of the oneness of life. The eyes in which I see God is the same eyes in which God sees me. It sort of sounds like a riddle, but it isn't if you understand it. Even Plotinus, back to the Greek days, says something that which mind, when it turns back, thinks before it thinks itself. That which mind, when it turns back, thinks before it thinks itself. So even back to the Greek days, there were people who were already experiencing this sense of the oneness of life, this sense of us belonging to a larger sense of who we are. Of course, we have different names for that, you know, Allah, God, and all the different religions, the Father, the Holy Spirit, all of these things that we call it. But stay breathing. And remember to breathe not only in, but breathe out. Because a lot of people hold their breaths. That's what causes stress in them. Be well. Be joyous. Be healthy. Be free. And continue to laugh a lot. Without laughter, there is no life. Thank you.